The word unprecedented has been used a number of times in the recent past to describe what life has become thanks to COVID-19, thanks to, of course, where the world is because of the adversity that we've all faced. But we saw a different shade of adversity and a different shade of unprecedented at the Gabba in Brisbane today as India overcame all the odds to win the series by 2 games to 1, drawing 1 game, of course. It's been a series for the ages. There've been ton and ton of adversity, and this team, with all of its adversity, have overcome every single thing all along the way. We, of course, in the Cricket News studios are a little shocked, are taken aback. There's been a loss of words. We've been trying to put our words together, to put a few tweets out to emote what we are feeling, and we'll try to do some justice to all of this and bring you this coverage to your mobile phones at the moment. Sandipan Banerjee joins me. Little shell-shocked Sandipan Banerjee, but very happy and very, very, very taken aback. Sandipan joins me at this point in time. Sandipan, we witnessed history today. There's no better way to put it.
Absolutely goosebumps. I mean, life is, I'm loss of words actually. At that point when India lost with Pujara in the first over with the second new ball, I thought that Australia India might crumble under pressure. But look at that maturity, look at the intensity. Look, this team is just incredible. And Australia's fortress Gabba, I think in last year, Team Payne, after beating Pakistan at Gabba, he jokingly said in the press conference they want to start the series against India at the Gabba. But unfortunately, it seems like his career has ended at the Gabba and two against the Indians. But from a broad perspective, I think whatever we have seen in the past 1 year, I think as Harsha has rightly said that COVID has beaten cricket. Sorry, actually I'm still lost about cricket has beaten COVID. And cricket overall, I think overall sports has beaten COVID and all the adversities here. I mean, this series has empowered each and everyone who think that okay, fine, this thing is not gettable or not possible. This series, this particular bunch of Indian team, bunch of Indian cricketers has shown the world that everything is possible. If you can breach Gabba with your net bowlers, then everything is possible.
Yeah, and those words come with good reason, because Australia have been unbeaten at this venue for close to 3 decades, and then to get there and with your net bowlers, of course, when you looked at that 11 on day one, on Jan 15th, you saw 2 debutants. You saw a fast bowler with 3 test matches under his belt leading the attack, and you wondered how is this team going to pull it off. But again, in our preview, Sandipan, we said this categorically. We said that you cannot write this Indian team off, no matter what the conditions are. This is a team that is together, that's resolute, and that will fight for the cause. And we saw that on day 5 as well. Every single session going to India.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we predicted that this new Indian team, actually, they will chin up and fight. And that's what we have seen from these boys. Washington Sundar, hardly any, in first class experience, coming in this test as a like-for-like replacements for Jadeja, took 3 wickets in the first innings, bowled beautifully, got rid of Smith early. And, incredible performance, just beyond our, maybe it's beyond our, we are out of our words to describe it. Natarajan, think of it. He started playing leather ball cricket quite late in his age, much like Siraj. And that particular those bowlers are now, they led India from the front and took 20 Australian wickets. And then what we have seen from Rishabh Pant, this shows the maturity, this shows the mindset of this modern Indian team, this current Indian lot of players or we say the IPL breed of players,
That's what they're called very often. And Ravi Shastri was very quick to pounce on that when he spoke to the broadcasters post the game as well. He said this team is not a team that we've built in one series. It's not just about this one series. There's been a whole bunch of processes that have gone behind them. There's been 5 or 6 years of work that's gone into building this team today, and the rewards are there to be seen.
Yes, absolutely. I think last time also I have also spoken about the pipeline of Indian cricket. I
Yeah.
was just seeing some data today that this BCCI has organized in past 5 years more India A matches than
Mm.
any other cricket boards in the world, and they have played around more than 100 India A games. Some of these cricketers, and coming in, if they are getting exposed to these shadow tours we are talk about, whenever we go to England, our A teams goes there first, and some
Yeah,
of these youngsters, they get their
absolutely.
experience to play on those conditions. So these shadow tours, you need to credit those thought process of Indian, those who walk behind the scenes. I think
Mm.
today this series, this particular Border Gavaskar Trophy has shown us the importance of the those person who walk behind the scenes. I think hats off to each and everyone.
You spoke about behind the scenes, and this is obviously not behind the scenes, but it's a trait that describes our Ajinkya Rahane as well. He's not behind the scenes, but he's in the shadows. He's empowering everybody around him. Even when India were inching towards the total, you just saw him sitting there in the dugout. Not a lot of emotions, just sitting, applauding, smiling. And then once he walked out, obviously that incredible gesture to Nathan Lyon, and then handing over the trophy to T. Natarajan straight away. He got the trophy, the Border Gavaskar Trophy, the trophy that he's been waiting to hold his hands, get in his hands for a long, long time. What does he do? He goes and he hands it over to the debutant. That shows who this man is, and that shows that what this captain has brought to this team, Sandeep.
A born leader, I guess. I mean, a leader cannot be made. A leader needs to, it has to be something, needs to be there inside. You
Mm.
cannot make a, you cannot prepare a leader, or
Mm.
you cannot just
Yeah, yeah,
groom a leader. There needs to be something behind, inside the leading, the skills, the skill set
yeah.
needs to be there.
Mm.
So I guess Ajinkya
That's
Rahane,
true.
people like Ajinkya Rahane, Rohit Sharma, they have those kind of instincts or leadership skills. I think wonderful leadership we have seen from Rahane throughout the series. He
Mm.
made very things very clear post Adelaide when he took charge of the team, that he come what may, he will play 5 bowlers, because he said
Mm.
that
Yeah,
if you want to beat Australia in Australia, you need to take 20 wickets.
yeah.
So basically, even without their best batsman,
Mm.
he wanted to compromise on the batting and attack the Australians with their bowling lineup. So this is the mindset of this Indian team, and the way he has handled these youngsters, these youngsters who had hardly any experience of
That's
any
correct.
form, like top level cricket coming into this series, the way he handled, the way he just let them be without putting any extra pressure. I think Rahane has done an incredible job, and it all started with his own innings. He led from the front in
Mm.
Melbourne. That 100 he
Yeah, yeah,
scored, and that
yeah,
also
yeah.
made this team believe that, oh yes, this Australian team is beatable. You can score runs against them. You can get wickets against these players. So I guess Rahane has probably no created a healthy headache in the Indian think tank, whether they should retain him for the England series as the captain, or whether Virat Kohli come back, which is obviously the most likely probabilities. But sometimes, I
Mm.
think most of the Indians today think, okay, fine, let him be, let him continue. What's wrong in it? Even Sachin Tendulkar was not a great captain, but he was a great
Mm.
player, and Virat Kohli can blossom under a captain like Rahane. So why not? Why can't we have Rahane and Rohit Sharma leading India's test and white ball teams, where Virat Kohli is their best batsman, like we
Mm.
saw probably maybe India doing under the Ganguly and Dravid? Why can't the same scenario happen here?
Yeah, it's a
These
problem
lead
of plenty.
whenever these players,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, whenever these players have got opportunities, they have proved
Mm.
their points. Rohit, last time Rohit led Indian team in
Asia
a
Cup.
white ball series, that was the
Yep.
Asia Cup. And
Hmm.
that time also India was depleted. India were depleted. A lot of their players were not there, including Kohli and some of their bowlers. But the way he handled the team brilliantly, and these Siraz and all, Khalil Ahmed, they made their. I think they played their probably the first top level tournament under Rohit. So over there also we have seen some incredible captaincy from Rohit, and now the same thing has happened from his Mumbai teammate Ajinkya Rahane. So I'm just hoping against the hope, but I don't think it will happen for various reasons. But I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hoping it. There is no
Uh-huh.
harm. Today is a
Yeah, of
day
course.
of dreams. So let's see.
Today's the dream of dreams. Yeah, why not their dream? Of course, I mean, this is of course a problem of plenty. Losing my pronunciation as well, but problem of plenty for the BCCI and the selectors. And you'd like to think that they'd be happy to know that there is this option that's available and an option that has clicked for India in the toughest of conditions. And I think one of the real hallmarks of a very good captain is how he or she empowers others. And you saw that, and Sachin Tendulkar very rightly tweeted this, that in every session India found a new hero, and that in itself shows that there are various folks who have taken responsibilities at various stages of not just this test but throughout the series, and that Sandipan was a big feature, wasn't it? Where a lot of different personnel took up the mantle and said, "I'm the man for the job, and I'm going to do it."
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what I think said on one of our previous broadcasts, when that one leader leaves, many other blossom. And that's
Mhm.
what we have seen. We have seen the kind of Siraz leading the bowling attack. We have seen Natarajan bowling those, cleaning up the tail. We have seen Washington Sundar bowling brilliant in the middle, in the middle overs. And we have seen someone like Gill. Let's not forget him. He's just two test matches old. I mean, we have seen
Doesn't look
Gill
like.
playing that incredible
Yeah,
knock. I think the
yeah.
incredible knock in the morning. And now we have seen Rishabh Pant, whom we criticized during IPL, whom we thought, okay, fine, it might be some, he might be a liability to this team. He was not part of the limited over squads in the Australia, in this on this tour. So I guess now, it all depends on how you handle a youngster. I think
Right.
as the great Sunil Gavaskar said, that the form is permanent, form is temporary, class is permanent, and Rishabh Pant has shown that to us, I think.
Also, another thing that another great in Harsha Bukle said, that what, all of us old school folks kept saying, what, play for a draw, just salvage a draw, and then you retain the series and you go back home happy. But this Indian team went out on the park and showed us old folks that this team behaves differently, thinks differently, and acts differently, and they did just that. It was a result that's come out of the blue, and it has shell-shocked Australians. Speaking about Australia, Sandipan, from an Australia perspective, this indeed is one that's going to sting for a while.
I think it will for sure. They had the best bowling attack in the world. They're virtually, apart from the last tour India, where there were no Smith, no Warner, they were virtually unbeatable at home. And especially after exactly a month ago, they bowled
36
India
or not.
out for 36.
Mhm.
So from 19th December 2020 to 19th December 2021, I think a lot of
19 Jan, Sandipan.
things, yeah, I think a lot of things have changed
Yeah,
in the,
yeah,
the scenario
yeah,
has changed. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
for Australia, obviously this will sting for your sting. I think they will seriously now look for a better option, better captaincy option, as well as keeping option than Payne. I think Payne made mistakes at crucial junctures of the game. Today also
Hmm.
he missed a stumping opportunity of Bishop Pant. In Sydney, he missed, I think, 2 or 3 catches of Pant at a crucial juncture. So Australia will probably look at, probably, I don't know, they will be touring South Africa now, and
Hmm.
it will be a very important series from their fortunes in the World Test Championship point of view as well, because now India are ahead of Australia, and India and
That's
New
correct.
Zealand are both ahead of Australia. And if they lose in South Africa, that means that probably India, which is expected to beat England in India, they will
Mhm.
play against New Zealand at home, at the Lords later this year. So I guess
Yeah.
a lot of things needs to be considered. I think Australia will probably back Pant from the for the South Africa series, but if
Mhm.
Australia they manage to
Choose
lose
to go
that
down different
also,
route. Yeah,
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 then
yeah.
obviously I don't think Pant will. I don't think Ashwin will have his best friend Pant coming down to India in the next tour.
You mean pain? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pain won't
Yeah,
be.
sorry, I'm in pain. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Sandipan. It's a day of being overwhelmed. We are all overwhelmed. It's completely fine. It happens to
Yeah,
everybody.
you can
We're
see,
all
you can see that I am. It is. I'm
a little
finding it difficult to
overwhelmed.
get rid of Pant from my head.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's all over. He's everywhere, and rightfully so. He's played one of the knocks of his life, and is sent us through a barrage of emotions throughout the day, and rightfully so. Of course, Pant's future now, is much more settled with all of these, with these incredible performances down under. For the energy that he has brought into the team, Sandipan, obviously the England tour coming up. Do you reckon he is going to be a part of the 11 as a keeper going forward, or Saha comes in Indian conditions?
He will probably Indian team will play because they have to accommodate Rohit Sharma. Sorry, they have to accommodate
Virat
Virat Kohli
Kohli.
as well in this lineup. So it will be interesting to see. Probably Pant will play as a keeper, but ideally,
Mm.
I would have loved to see Saha playing as keeper on Indian conditions where you need to keep a
You
lot
need
of
a
overs
keeper,
against
a good keeper.
spinners, a
That's
good
right.
keeper. And Pant obviously he has proved his credentials to bat at number 5 as a pure batsman.
All right. So obviously we'll talk about the specifics, Sandipan, as time goes on. When the England series, of course, the squad will be announced sometime later today. There'll be a whole lot of conversation that will begin about England's arrival in India. That's a big series, of course, from a standalone perspective, but also from the World Test Championship perspective. So we'll talk about that in the time to come. There's obviously time for that. Now let's rebel and be in this space where India have defeated Australia in Australia. All of this happiness is unfolding in front of us. So let's be in this space for now. Sandipan, before we head off and conclude our review of this test, what would be the one major learning that we've understood from India's incredible performance down under in this test in Brisbane?
I think the mindset of these youngsters, those players who have made their debut in the state, who probably were treated as a net ball at the start of the series, the way they came out and play their, express themselves, For example, when Pujara got out in the first over of the second new ball, at that point, probably, we were all thought, okay, fine, Washington Sundar, he's a good technical batsman, he has a good technique, and he should just survive for the day, he just survive. But he did not do that. He just released the pressure from because Pant was hitting at the other end, so he also released some pressure from Pant by hitting a 4 and 6 of Pat Cummins in that over, which brought the equation down. Otherwise the equation was bit getting out of hand,
Yes, it
with the
was.
asking rate of 7 and an over or hot. But the way he brought the equation down, which released some pressure out of Pant, I think this mindset, in fact, the partnership he had with the Sardul in the first innings, what
Mm.
what a what an incredible, the never give up attitude. I think that's the best way we can put it, that this never give up attitude of this Indian team is the probably the best takeaway from this series match, and probably from this series.
Yes, absolutely. I think the trait of resilience is very, very underrated in sport. It's not really spoken about a lot. And this Indian team did so much to take that conversation forward and gave us a first-hand account that no matter what is ahead of you, the kind of opposition, the conditions, the adversities internally within the team, if you are resolute and you have, the attitude to back your talent, everything is possible. And they proved just that, made the whole country proud on a working day, pretty much stopped the whole country, everyone hooked onto their mobile phones and onto their portable devices, taking a look at what's happening in Brisbane all the way across the
Just a
world.
quick
And of
question to
course,
you. Just a quick
yeah,
question to you,
okay,
Sumedh.
okay, go
Which
on.
one is the best Border Gavaskar Trophy you have ever seen? 2001 or 2020 or 2021?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because that 2001 series, of course, we have a lot of great memories of that series, don't we? Rahul Dravid and the likes. But you'd like to think that with the absentees that we've had in this team, the injuries, the conversations, the way Australia tried to put India off through the number of tactics and things of that nature, the way this young Indian team has stood up, I think this series will take the cake for me. It really will.
And also they were playing this time, they are playing in Australia. They are taking on Australia in Australia,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
back in 2001 it was
We
home
were in India.
series and
Mm.
home crowd, the spinning tracks, but this
Yeah.
time the odds were completely against them.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's very hard for us to sit and say this, to be honest, to the viewers. We'd like to say this because that series is on the pedestal. That's where we saw India taking on everybody in the world post that. It gave us the confidence that this Indian team under a young captain can do a lot. But this series has sort of, transcended all of that because of the adversities that was ahead of this team. And I think it definitely takes the cake without just takes the cake, I think. So yeah, I mean, for both of us, it's pretty much the same, isn't it? All right, Sandipan, any final thoughts before we head, or you're going to steal my thunder yet again before I finish my before we finish this review?
I mean, the team for the England series will be out soon, and I hope that most of these youngsters will be picked at least for the first two Test matches. Because these guys have shown that they need some backing. They have shown us. Obviously, some of the Indian big stars will be back in the squad, but let's not what should I say, ignore the likes of Washington Sundars. Let's not ignore the likes of Natarajan or Siraj or Shardul Thakur. Whenever I think let them groom as well. I think at home, I think India can afford to play these youngsters and groom them against England.
Yeah,
So and
from
starting in yeah,
yeah, go
and
on.
I am also hoping against the hope that Ajinkya Rahane will go out for the toss in Chennai on 5th of the February.
That'll be interesting, and there'll be a whole different. But for that to happen, Sandeepan, there'll be a lot of developments that will need to happen from today, which is 19th of January, till the 5th. Of course, about 15 days to go for the next series, and for that, likelihood, for that possibility to happen, Sandeepan, there'll be a lot that will need to happen, starting from today's meeting.
It won't happen.
Yeah,
Knowing
if it has to happen,
my
there has to
my
happen.
cricket journalist brain is saying, okay, fine, it won't happen. But as a Indian fan, as a fan of Indian cricket, I say, okay, let's just hope for the hope, because as I've
Let's hope.
said, today is the day of dreams.
Well, I don't think there's a better way to end this broadcast. Today is a day of dreams indeed, and it gives us all an opportunity to dream, to believe that even in the toughest of times, everything and anything is possible. And it is sport and cricket that has made us feel this emotion through in our veins and in our heart. And we definitely will be forever grateful for what this incredible sport brings to us in these very moments. Sandipan Banerjee, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a fantastic series. We've had a lot of wonderful moments previewing and reviewing all of the games. It's been a pleasure to have you.
It has been a sheer pleasure from my end as well.